Welcome back, everyone. This is Arafellin playing Magical Bringer Korona the movie. Last time, y'all turned up in Korona's room looking all furry. She wanted to go out, have some fun, because it's the true moon and that makes beasts go kind of wild, and she's looking forward to causing a little mayhem. Then Korona gets curious about, okay, so what happened to Cromm then? Y'all mentioned she's locked up in the dungeon. Korona insists on going to see her. Before y'all can mention that, oh, by the way, she's locked down here because she kind of goes berserk, Korona unlocks her cell and y'all kind of takes off. So Korona has the option to follow after her running away or stick around and see what's up with Cromm. Last time I did the Nyal option mostly because that was going to be quicker and easier, and I wanted to keep this separate in its own video because it could be longer, harder, and more problematic. But it also feels more in character for Korona, so I'm making this the canonical choice for this playthrough. I won't run! I won't run! I won't run! Won't run! Won't run! Won't run! Wait, how come I've got to repeat it? Hey, this isn't time for that! Cromm-san, it's me, Korona!
Korona.
Right, me, Korona. We're friends.
Korona, the black demon sword, must bring to Nyal-sama.
Cromm-san? Look, I'm sorry if I've upset you. Did I bring a biscuit or something to give you?
Korona Sakura.
Yes?
Die.
That looks good. She slashed at me unarmed. Her fingertips looked like long, sharp claws in the instant I dodged. Cromm-san's striking arm slams into the stone wall of the dungeon, smashing it like styrofoam. Hey, if I get hit with that, my upper and lower body might have to say goodbye to each other. Hey, that's dangerous.
Demon sword.
Huh? Demon sword?
It appears that with her heated blood, her consciousness has regressed to when she was an assassin out to steal the demon sword.
This is no time to calmly comment.
For now, get away from here. Cramped quarters make having a sword a disadvantage.
Right. How did it end up like this? As I flowed down the hall, I reflected. I know this is all my fault. I know. I shouldn't have poked my nose in without considering her situation. But I never thought it would be so dangerous! Whoa, she's chasing me. Cromm-san, stop! Snap out of it! Yeah, that's not gonna work. If it were that simple, they wouldn't have locked her up in the first place. I managed to make it outside.
It's a little late for this, but outside could be trouble.
Huh? Why?
Remember what Nyal said earlier?
Hey, what are you doing, yeah?
No, not that. After it.
Don't! The true moon's light turns Cromm violent and out of control, yeah? That's why she's sealed in here. The true moon's light turns her violent?
To guess, was Cromm deliberately put underground to avoid the moonlight? If so...
Oh, God. So, yeah, if you follow Nyal, you end up fighting her, but Nyal doesn't really want to hurt Korona, even though she does really want to win. Cromm has no such compunctions at the moment. Also, she's gone full-on werewolf. Yeah, Cromm we have not previously fought in this game, so there's nothing in this game to reference her combat style to. If you're familiar with the last game, however, you will know that what you face in this battle is nothing like what she is normally. And there will be opportunities later on in the game to fight Cromm normally. And we'll see there again, nothing like how she is normally. First of all, she has the Fierce ability here. As you can see from my health bar, if you're watching closely. What that does is each hit has a bit of extra damage added to it. That bit of extra damage hurts you whether you walk or not, unless you get a critical. That's a new thing in this game. If you get a critical guard, that will completely negate the damage. But if you don't, you still get hurt a little bit. I think it's 10%, so if we assume her hit would normally do 30 damage, then with Fierce, it does 33 damage if you don't block it, and 3 damage if you do. Again, unless it's a critical card. It's not a huge amount, but it does add up. But this is the worst part of this battle. This is possibly the most chaotic attack in the game, although Nyal is the one known as the Creeping Chaos. So I'm going to try to focus on not getting hit too much, and explain the quote a bit later. That was not a good start. Yeah, you can see all sorts of weird things are going on there. You have chips appearing, chips turning black, chips changing direction. It's a mess. And it comes at you pretty quickly, too. It's pretty much all the things I don't like about Playa's special attacks, all stuck together in one. So yeah, it's not fun. Anyway, as I was saying, the quote there, "Let the dead bury their dead." That is a biblical reference. Something Jesus said that is in both Matthew 8:22 and Luke 9:60. Focus on guarding for a moment. At least this one's regular. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that the piercing attack from enter attacks is also boosted as the damage itself would be, so yeah, be especially careful to guard those. Anyway, let the dead bury your dead. That's Jesus responding to a potential follower who asked to first go and bury his father. The general consensus of people who analyze scripture is the idea behind that is saying, you know, being a disciple is a significant commitment. You need to be ready for what that will entail. However, its usage in the game here seems to be something more along the lines of, only the dead will be left to bury the dead. Brionac, as I mentioned, is not a fun attack. Unless you like having to deal with chaotic stuff coming at you quickly. Hopefully she won't do that too often, but here it is again already. Depending on how this goes, I may need to retry the battle a few times. I think what I decided to do at the beginning of the video is to try it twice on the starting difficulty, and if I still can't win, then switch down. That was better. Not perfect, but better. I can still win this. Special attacks will hurt. Or help. Well, they'll hurt her, they'll help my chances. In particular, if I can make it to level 3, that basically is guaranteed win. Because the level 3 attack, again, we've seen it a few times. Each hit is 5% maximum health of the target. You get 6 hits, so that's 30% of the health right there. So if I make it that far, that should be plenty to finish her off. The problem is making it that far. This is very much a battle of attrition. Well, if you're good at dodging, it's a battle of attrition. You're taking damage constantly. Yeah. The Yuka battle from the first game was more a battle of attrition in the traditional sense. I think normally that implies that everyone has a lot of health and it's going down rather slowly. Here, if you mess up guarding Brionac in particular, you can find your health disappearing very quickly. Anyway. Energy charge, target locked. Korona blaster. Yeah, this is more damage than Desperado, but it will not charge your gauge. And in this battle, I think I would prefer the gauge charging, but you'll take what it gives you. Missed a critical. Still barely managed to get faster than her, which will help a bit. Okay, almost to level 3. Another one. This is getting kind of ridiculous. Don't normally see this many enemy specials, but it can happen. And if it does, you just have to deal with it. Okay, that one I got perfectly. And you can try to look at it ahead of time, get a feel for what's coming at you, but there's always the possibility of things changing direction at the last moment. I mean, the ones that fade into appearance, you can tell they're there because the spacing is pretty even. So if there's an empty space, there's one that's invisible. But there's really nothing you can do to predict the ones that start out one direction and then change on you. So if you're expecting to block down and suddenly it switches to left and you're not ready to react to that, you're getting hit. And it hits pretty hard. But we should be in the clear at this point. So I generally like the character design and art, but I feel it just doesn't work for the werewolf here. There's just too little detail. It feels kind of fake and cartoonish. And there's the music looping. Yeah, also the music is like with Nyal's theme, it's a minor remix. Not minor as in minor music, minor as in minor differences. Yeah, remix of her battle theme from the previous game. Re-instrumented, has a few extra flourishes put in, but basically the same thing. Yeah, and that'll finish her off, and battle is won. A nice growl. And victory. Okay. That could have gone better, but it went well enough. Cromson, are you okay? That was self-defense, alright?
Korona, demon sword.
Whoa, she got back up? Give me a break! Yep, like Nyal said, Therians are pretty much unstoppable under the true moon. She luckily does not have regeneration during the battle itself, because that would make it even worse, but yeah. As with fighting Nyal, Korona's going to end up fighting pretty much all night. Let's put her safe. Yeah, let's do here. And yeah, this has been Arafellin playing Magical Bringer Korona the movie. That's going to be our canonical end to Chapter 3, or Act 3. They call them acts, they're chapters too, whatever. Yeah, hope you enjoyed, and come back next time for more.